Hey guys, it's Melissa with Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I'm going to talk to you today about making difficult decisions. There are so many of us who have difficult decisions in our lives. Sometimes it's deciding which job to choose, sometimes it's deciding between two partners, sometimes it's just deciding how we're going to move forward in life from an event or something that's happened to us. I've just been coming across a lot of people in my work lately who seem to have difficult choices and they're not really sure where to turn or where to go. I had a client lately who needed to make a choice about dividing property between children, leaving that property in their will, and they just really weren't sure how to do that. And I had another client also who is at a crossroads, not really sure career-wise what to do. And trust me, I've been there before, and not really knowing like what is your purpose here and on this earth, and what's your purpose in life. And I think so many of us face these choices every single day. And so I get the question like, how do you make the right decision? Like, how do you know what's the right decision? And I think that this all comes down to using your intuition and really relying on your gut and what it's telling you to do, and also calling on your spiritual team to give you guidance, and then listening for that guidance and knowing what it is they're trying to tell you. And that's not always easy. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is. But it's so important that we trust our gut and trust our instincts, because they will never fail us. What's meant to be yours will never pass you by. So if you feel like you made a decision and it was the wrong decision and maybe I shouldn't have made that decision, if it was meant to be yours, it's not going to pass you by. It will come back around in some way, shape, or form. The only bad decision or wrong decision you can make is to not make a decision. Indecisiveness is really what keeps us stuck. Let's say that you have to choose between two jobs and you choose the wrong one. In your mind, you've chosen the wrong one. Well, you know that you've made that choice and that it wasn't the choice that was best for you. A similar job can come back around again, and you know then for the future that this is the type of job that you prefer to have. We can't be afraid that something's going to pass us by, because if it's what was meant for us, it will not. And all that making a decision that ends up being the wrong decision means is that we've taken a little detour. We're still going to get to our destination. Life is more like a roadmap. My friends will tell you that I have a terrible sense of direction. I've gotten lost more times than I care to admit. I mean, even GPS doesn't help me that much, which is terrible. I mean, you're probably thinking, why? How can GPS not help you? It does help me, but I still end up getting lost sometimes, even with GPS, which is amazing to me. I don't know how that happens. But I've also, in the process of getting lost, discovered new things. I've seen new places that I would never have seen had I not taken the different tour, different route. And that's kind of the way life is. Yes, you may have taken a wrong turn. It might take you a little bit longer to get to where you're going. But maybe there was a reason that you had to take that road. Maybe you had a lesson to learn about yourself, or maybe there was something from your past you needed to resolve. Things happen to us for different reasons. We have to trust that we are going to end up on the right path. One thing, though, that I think we really need to remember is that we know if we trust our gut, it will not steer us wrong. And so many times in life, I have taken the wrong road because I didn't listen to my gut. I knew something was telling me, hey, something's wrong here. This is not the right situation for you. Why are you staying? And I just didn't listen to it, and I stayed anyway. And I eventually, of course, found out, yes, this was not a good fit for you, and you stayed way longer than you should have. And you ended up being miserable because you didn't listen to your gut and you didn't listen to your instinct. And so you had to experience pain or a difficult situation that you probably wouldn't have had to if you had followed your gut. So we need to be better about listening to what our intuition is telling us. We all have that inner voice that guides us, but our lives become so hectic and so busy that we tend to just ignore it. Or it's not that we're trying to ignore it, we're just so busy that we really don't hear it, we're not focusing on it. So if you have an important decision to make, I highly, highly recommend taking time to sit in stillness, to try to listen to that quiet voice, our inner guidance, our higher selves, because we know what we're supposed to be doing. We all have a path we're supposed to be taking. We have a blueprint for our lives that we come here to then carry out. But some of us forget our way. We get lost. We get off the path. If we listen to that inner voice and to that higher self for guidance, it does not steer us wrong. When you have a difficult decision to make, take time to sit in stillness. I would recommend writing your question down on a piece of paper, putting that question out there to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, to source, and then sitting in stillness and waiting for that answer. You may or may not hear it as you're sitting there. I've experienced both. I've experienced times where I sit and the answer comes to me, and where I sit and it's like crickets. I don't hear anything. It really is a skill you have to develop in listening to your intuition. The other thing that you can do is you can write your question down to the universe. If it's a decision you have to make, you can write your question. Dear universe, dear God, source, which situation would be a better fit for me for my highest good, and whatever that, you can tailor your question depending on the situation. And then keep that pad, that paper where you've written that question by your bed at night. And before you go to sleep, pray that the answer will come to you while you're sleeping. Because when we're in our sleeping state, that's when we are most open to receiving guidance from our higher selves, from our guides, from the universe. And you may find that when you wake up in the morning, the answer just comes to you. I highly recommend trying both of those things if there's any kind of tough decision you have to make in your life. And get used to listening to that inner voice, listening to your intuition, your gut, your guidance. When you meet someone for the first time, don't you usually have a reaction to that? I mean, I know that there are people that I've met for the first time where the hairs on my arms stood up because I just knew there was something about this person I did not like. And I've definitely had that, and my gut was not wrong in those times. Where something tells you that this situation just doesn't feel right, there's something wrong, I don't have a good feeling about it, there's not good energy surrounding that. Don't ignore your intuition. Most people tend to think, oh, I'm just overreacting or I'm being too harsh. You're not. Your gut is telling you that for a reason. There is a reason that you don't like the situation or you don't like the person. And it doesn't mean you have to be mean to the person. But you need to learn to listen to that intuition because it's not going to steer you wrong. It knows more than we do. Our ego takes over and we ignore our intuition when our intuition was right the whole time. We do things because we wanted to do them instead of listening to that still voice saying, don't do it. Don't go that way. Do something else. We just have to learn to listen to it more often. And part of that too is opening up your intuition, opening up your third eye, being able to get guidance more easily. Because we all have it. We all have the ability to listen to our intuition and to hear our inner voice or to hear our higher selves, but we just have chosen to ignore it, or we just so long blocked it, maybe not because we were trying to, but just because life gets so busy and things move so quickly that we just ignore it. We need to get into the habit of listening to it again. So I urge you to practice sitting in stillness to listen to that guidance, and also asking the questions, putting it out to the universe and asking for the answers to come to you while you're sleeping. You can do guided meditations for opening up your third eye. There are some great ones on YouTube that are free. Just do a search and find one that resonates with you. There are so many things you can do to try to open up your ability to listen to your higher self, to listen to inner guidance. And it's not going to steer you wrong. Just go with your gut. You know, that's the simplest thing. Go with your gut. It's never wrong. I hope that you will start listening to your higher self in your daily life. I know that I definitely have started doing that more often and have found it to be very, very helpful. I hope that you will always, always seek guidance for any questions, decisions you have to make. And just remember, make a decision. Whatever it is, make the decision. But consult your gut. You will know what is right for you. And if you need more guidance, you can pray for your spiritual team to help you, to give you the answers you're seeking. And then be aware of what's going on around you to how those answers come in. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm sending you so much love and peace and light. And I can't wait to talk to you again soon. If you are feeling like you have some emotional weight going on, physical or emotional pain, or you are just feeling kind of blah, your energy's drained, if you're having trouble sleeping, you should consider Reiki. Reiki is a wonderful way to get your body back in balance. And if you are feeling out of balance, it might even be harder for you to be listening and tapping into your intuition. So get a hold of me, contact me for a Reiki session. We can get you back in balance, helping you to be in tune with your higher self. You can check out my website, which will be in the description of the podcast. Check out my website, see what all I have there for you. Getting ready to offer a purposeful pilgrimage. I originally thought it would be an email service, but now I'm thinking that it is going to be a subscription service. So once you subscribe, you'll have access to all of the lessons anytime you want them. You just go to the website at any time. So be looking for that. If you are looking to up-level spiritually, this is just the program for you. A little bit of daily self-improvement, and it will change your life, I guarantee. Love you all. Thank you all for listening. Send me some reviews on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean. Let me know if you enjoy what I'm doing. Give me some stars. Leave me feedback. If you ever have any topic you want to know more about, you can also send me messages about that as well. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.